Well, hello everybody. Today I'd like to introduce my Choose Your Own Adventure learning experience. Welcome to Disappearing Island, the island ahead. The purpose of this activity is to teach beginning recreational boaters how to make safe boating decisions by gathering information before leaving, preparing for a day on the water, recognizing changing conditions, and knowing when it's time to return safely to the marina. Rather than presenting boating safety as a list of rules, learning participants practice making good decisions within a realistic story. Their choices influence what happens next, allowing them to learn from authentic consequence instead of simply answering quiz questions. The target audience is beginning recreational boaters and visitors to Florida's Disappearing Island who may have limited boating experience, but want to enjoy a safe day on the water. The story begins on a beautiful Florida morning as the learner prepares to launch their boat. Just before leaving, their phone vibrates with a weather notification. This is the first decision point. The learner can either ignore the notification or check the forecast. Although both paths continue to the same location, checking the weather introduces an important boating habit, gathering information before leaving the dock. The forecast mentions only a slight chance of afternoon thunderstorms, encouraging the learners to keep that information in mind throughout the adventure. The second decision point asks the learner to make one final stop before leaving the marina. They can either stop for extra water and ice or grab their favorite coffee. At first, neither choice appears better than the other, but each creates a different experience. Choosing water and ice prepares the learner for spending the afternoon at the island. Choosing coffee seems harmless at first, but later the learner realizes that small decisions can affect the overall trip. Since there are no restroom facilities at Disappearing Island, they need to find a bathroom sooner than they expected. They make the responsible choice to return to the marina. This reinforces that safe boating decisions include planning ahead and adapting when conditions or circumstances change. I'll first demonstrate the coffee path. After leaving the marina, the learner can stop and observe a group of manatees, or explore an old dock, or continue toward the island. No matter which option they choose, the early decision to stop for coffee eventually changes the outcome. Rather than reaching the island, the learner decides to head back to the marina. This isn't presented as a failure. Instead, it reinforces that successful boating also involves thinking ahead and recognizing when plans need to change. Now, I'll demonstrate the second path by choosing water and ice before leaving the marina. This route allows the learners to reach Disappearing Island, where they can explore the beach and discover wildlife, a sand dollar, and an abandoned boat. As the story progresses, however, the difficulty increases. The wind begins to pick up, dark clouds gather, and distant thunder becomes audible. Earlier decisions focused on preparation, but now the learner must interpret changing environment conditions and decide whether to continue exploring or head back. The final decision connects directly to the learning objective. If the learner recognizes the warning signs and returns to the marina, they arrive safely just before a dramatic lightning storm. The ending explains the darkening skies, stronger winds, and rougher water were all warning signs that it was time to head in. This feedback teaches why the decision was the safest choice rather than simply telling the learner they were correct. Throughout the experience, the difficulty gradually increases. The early choices build confidence through simple planning decisions, while later choices require learning to apply information they observed earlier in the story. Instead of memorizing boating safety tips, they practice evaluating realistic situations and making informed decisions. Overall, this Choose Your Own Adventure uses branching scenarios, meaningful consequences, and instructional feedback to help learners understand that safe boating depends on preparation, observation, and good judgment throughout the entire trip. Thanks for watching.